Grim caught her as she began to collapse.
"This was not intentional,"
he said, steadying her shoulders. She choked on her breath. Does intention matter when hundreds of people are dead? His eyes were sad.
"It does."
She tore herself away from him. You would say that. Of course you would say that. Tears caught in the back of her throat as she thought back to the battle on Lightlark, blood everywhere, Drex shredding the sky with their talons. Ciel dying, Avel cradling her twin's body. They didn't have to die. A sob scraped against her ribs. Why, Grim? Why did you have to attack?
"You know why."
His words were quiet. He stepped closer, but she walked back, refusing to bridge the gap between them. She did know. She could almost see it now. The action that had caused all of this death. The uncontrollable power she had unleashed to save Grim, killing her in the process. He had brought her back by binding his life to hers, but it was just a temporary solution. Only Lightlark's portal to another world with infinite power offered a permanent one. You could have told me. We could have talked about it. We could have told Aro.
"Aro will die if we use the portal. He wouldn't have agreed to it."
He was quiet for a moment. Then,
"You wouldn't have agreed to it."
Of course, she wouldn't have. Lightlark's portal was built into the island's foundation. Using it would mean the death of Lightlark and Aro, who was bound to it as king. She shook her head, wincing at the death around her. You really would have let Lightlark fall? You would have doomed the rest of the realms while leading yours into a world we know nothing about? For one woman? It didn't make sense. Grim frowned.
"Not for one woman,"
he spat, like the words insulted him. He stepped toward her.
"For my wife."
Wife. The word unlocked 1,000 memories of them, a year before the centennial. Fighting, falling in love, marrying. All moments she hadn't remembered up until recently. She squeezed her eyes shut in frustration. You know what I mean. One life to risk thousands. That is criminal. Selfish, monstrous. Isla could feel Grim getting closer. When she opened her eyes, he was right in front of her.
"Heart,"
he said steadily. The spikes on his shoulders made him look like a demon. His blood-slicked armor glimmered in the moonlight.
"If waging a war for one woman is a crime, then please do consider me a criminal."
Closer.
"If killing thousands to keep you alive is wrong, then consider me a villain."
She now had to tilt her head to see him clearly. He leaned down. His breath was hot against her mouth.
"If loving you this much is my downfall, then consider me already on my knees."
Her voice shook. That's disgusting. You're a monster. She said the words and knew it made her a hypocrite. The ground they stood on now, the hundreds of deaths around them, she had done it for him, to save him.
"We are monsters, Heart-Eater,"
Grim had said to her, back during the centennial. He had been right. But that didn't mean she couldn't change. Grim had promised to end the battle, if she returned with him. Too many lives had already been lost. Lightlark had been losing. Call back all your warriors and Drex, immediately.
"It's already done."
In his hand, the sword that controlled the winged beasts appeared.
"It's over."
It was the same sword they had searched for in the past, the one she herself had unlocked for him to use. This was all her fault. The Drex had killed so many. She had led her friends into bloodshed. Her own husband's forces had cut them down. The survivors must think her a traitor. They must think she had been lying to them this entire time. That fact killed her. But her feelings didn't matter if going with Grim guaranteed their safety. Command all the Drex to remain underground and put the sword back in the thief's lair. Swear you will never use it again. She expected Grim to put up more of a fight, but the words fell easily from his mouth.
"I swear it."
She pushed her luck.